It's James with Net News Ledger. Joining us by Zoom from Ottawa is Eric Melillo, the Member of Parliament for the beautiful riding of Kenora here in Western Ontario. Eric, welcome again to Net News Ledger.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here again.
Okay, you're in a suit, you're in a tie, you're going to be up in question period today, and you've had a very busy week in Ottawa last week with a lot going on. What do our readers and viewers need to know?
Yeah, as you mentioned, very busy week, and I've been raising many issues of concern to our riding. Of course, right now with the evacuations in Niskantika and the situation occurring there, it's been top of mind for me and for our leader as well in raising those issues and hoping to get some answers from the government on that as soon as possible. But also, I was doing some work in committee. I brought forward my internet motion, which I believe we spoke about before. I was disappointed to see that the government was actually holding up my motion, which would have declared our committee's support and sent a signal to the government for the need of internet investment in Northern Canada. And I was happy to see that the government actually backed down and my motion ended up passing unanimously. So I'm very happy to see that. I think it'll start a broader discussion amongst the committee and some studies into the ways we can actually take action on bringing internet to all Canadians, especially those living in the north. But importantly, I also think it shows a very important signal that our multi-partisan committee has come to an agreement on an issue of importance this early on, and that it's something that the government should be prioritizing.
You know, internet in the north, to be honest, the fastest internet I've ever been on is in Muskrat Dam, but it was only in the band office. The slowest internet I've ever been on was in Niskantika. That's the most ridiculously slow internet I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's I think for too often we have situations where, as you mentioned, there's perhaps an internet connection that goes to a band office or to the edge of a community, and it hasn't been connected throughout the rest of the community. We see it in our First Nations, we see it in the northern municipalities, we see it across Northern Ontario, Western Ontario, and across Northern Canada as well. So we've been working with many different stakeholders and partners to see if what kind of innovative ideas they have that we can bring more reliable access. I think that's probably maybe the biggest issue than just the quality itself. It's about the reliability of it. I know sometimes you can have very strong internet connection. Even myself at home in Kenora, sometimes it works great. And there's been some times, James, where we haven't been able to connect because of the internet. I haven't moved. I'm on the same network, but it's just the unreliability of it.
Now, on COVID-19, Manitoba has been seeing a surging amount of COVID-19 cases, and Winnipeg, as of midnight, shifted into what's called condition red in Manitoba. What is that going to do for, the cottagers and the people coming to Ontario and into the Kenora region with COVID-19 restrictions in Manitoba? Is there anything being done?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think right now, with the cases happening in Manitoba, there's been a greater emphasis, of course, on making sure people stay home and that as much as possible that they can continue to follow protocols to the best of their abilities. I know recently, in recent weeks around Thanksgiving, we did have quite a few cottagers come to Kenora to close up their cottages, and we were encouraging people to take everything they needed so that they could limit any reasons to have to go into the town or to go to the grocery store and limit those contacts. And for the most part, I think it did go very well. And I know that there's many discussions, particularly around the provincial tables, which of course I don't sit at, but in working with my provincial colleagues, I know that they're keeping an eye on things, and that though we have a regional reopening framework and that Northern Ontario has been doing relatively well, we understand that the situation around us is something important to keep an eye on. So I don't have, unfortunately, too much of an update on what's changing at this point or what might change, but I know that it's being monitored.
Eric, you've got to jump in and do some questions for question period. So we're going to be wanting to cover that. And just any message for the riding and for Western Ontario today that you'd like to share before we close out?
Maybe I'll say it's great to be back in Ottawa. I do appreciate the opportunity to represent my riding, and I think more broadly our region in northwestern Ontario. And I've actually recently, on the issue of internet, if I could come back to it again, I put out a survey to residents of my riding, and we've actually had so many responses from that. People have been asking for more more surveys that they can hand out. So I just have to say I appreciate the feedback from constituents on that issue and on many issues as well. We've been very active with our outreach and our surveys, and I would encourage everyone across northwestern Ontario to please send your thoughts, your suggestions, and your criticisms to my office, because we appreciate it very much.
Eric, thank you. Get to question period. And as they say if it was sports, I'd be saying get in there and give them heck.
Thank you, James. Take care.
Have a good week.
Stay informed and stay up to date. Hit subscribe, hit like, share this with a friend. Make sure you hit the little bell so you get notified the next time that we have a video up. Thanks for tuning in to Net News Ledger.